can see everybody getting a little excited in here. There's a lot of smiles. And there are the bubbles. So it's great to be back with you here at Getunkwit Chronicles, where we meet with you each week and discuss the happenings of the day in our little town of Getunkwit on our little island, Narragansett Bay. And I am so pleased today. We have a great friend here. His name is Ace Hillander. And Ace is a friend through pickleball, which we've mentioned quite often here. And then I get some really funny looks from Ashlyn typically, because she's not playing pickleball yet. I guess there'll be a day when she does. But Ashlyn is not here today, and in her place we have Bailey Harbor, who we all know and love. And she says hello. Could you say that again?
Oh, hello.
Because the people in Wisconsin didn't hear you. And I'm here with Ace Hillander. Hi.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's so good that you could come down and join us for an hour and just have a few chuckles together. But you've been doing some really kind of exciting stuff with your life, and not just playing pickleball, which you play quite well, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you.
I've always believed that there are players that are, taking it seriously, and there are those that are, just getting a little romp on the court. But you do more than that. You've got a great serve, if I remember.
Well, thank you. But before we get started, I just wanted to say that as I was bicycling up the driveway here.
Oh, I'm glad you're taking a bicycle. That's great news.
Oh, yeah. Try to stay in shape. There was a gentleman that met me and took my bicycle and said that he was valet parking for bicycles. And I said, wow, how great is this?
The Getunkwit Chronicles bicycle service?
Never heard of that. Valet parking for bicycles, but I was happy to give him my bike, and he said that he was going to keep it out back, but that he thought that the tires could use a little air. So he's going to take it over the mobile station and pump them up a little bit, and it'd be ready to go when we finished up here.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a problem?
Yeah, Mark. What's his name, Mark?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he was asking about whether or not I'd give him a ride to the beach.
Oh, no.
I think you'll find your bike at the beach.
Okay. All right. I mean, he seemed like a nice enough guy. I'm sure.
No.
Nothing will happen to it, but.
He's a decent guy, but that was a bad decision.
What a move on his part.
Did he ask you how long you'd be here, and so he could bring it?
No. He it happened so automatically. I figured that
it was
this
just
is what you arranged.
Yeah, regular thing. Okay. No, we have to park our bicycles. I usually take a bike up here, yes.
And you actually typically lock yours up.
I do.
Next time, if you have me back.
Well, Getunkwit's such a small island. We'll only have to make 2 or 3 inquiries, and we'll have your bike back for you.
Sure, it's a small island.
Yeah, it's true.
It sure is.
If you need a ride to the beach, unfortunately, I had to bring, a gas guzzler here. I was coming from off island, so.
Oh, yeah.
I know. You can't bring those two-wheeled vehicle over the bridge, unfortunately.
No.
Isn't that, it's absurd that Getunkwit hasn't figured that out, where we can get some sort of cantilevered, perhaps, bikeway across that bridge. And then also the other bridge, too, that heads over to Newport.
Sure.
Do you know the derivation of the word Newport?
I don't.
Yeah, it goes way back. It goes way back before the English were here. It was a place where native people started their whaling. They would whale from canoes, and they called it Canoeport. Canoeport. That is absolute bullshit. And
you had me.
I hope I didn't offend anybody from any particular group. From those that like canoes, to those that like ports. Anyway,
Especially
Newport. It's a little joke of the day.
It's good.
It's the one you could tell the children at the sailing program, I'm sure.
I will.
Getunkwit Sailing Foundation.
I will save that one, yes.
We'll plug them again.
Oh, thank you.
So I did want to suggest that you and I, Ace, you and I were, and your lovely wife, were walking out of the town financial meeting the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And we had to leave early because there was, well, for my purposes, it was relative to the level of back pain. When it reaches about 6 or 7, I have to
Sure.
scream. So I had to go outside to scream, and I just left to rest. But I imagine you were just disgusted with the discussion.
Well, as you knew, the whole thing was supposed to take 20 minutes or half hours. It was written up in the paper,
Yes,
and it took over a half hour just to get signed in.
yes.
You know, it was.
Oh, it was mobbed.
You kind of snaked your way through the whole school until you eventually got into the gymnasium,
Yes.
and then it started around 7:30, and I think you got up around 9 o'clock,
What?
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, and
9:15.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we were just getting into the meat and potatoes of the whole meeting.
And
So
it
there was a lot of
didn't end
discussion.
till 11:45.
11.
The last vote was cast 11:45. So therefore, some of the voting, I think, would be skewed at that time. Because I think that there was enough smoke screen going on where people were smoke screening certain issues and confusing people that were in charge. And I think that wasn't fair to anybody involved because they were trying to do their best. And then the audience was confused,
Yeah,
as I was too. So I thought I was just I reached over to a friend and tugged her on the shoulder, and I said, at what point will the stoning begin? You know, from the famous short story about that small town where they still did a ritual of stoning. There was let's call it the lottery, and it was,
That.
yeah, we all had to.
Yeah.
And it is, and there was a movie, too, if you recall. It was a short movie that they showed us. It was frightening as a young person. But therefore, I was, there was the recognition that things were not going well.
some people were quite passionate about their views.
And I think it was an effort to confuse,
Yeah.
which is popular in politics these days.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some confusion out there so that we can do whatever we want. All right, so we'll be taking that to a federal level now. This is a great discussion. Hey, we're not supposed to be too articulate when we talk. Right? We're not supposed to talk about anything too heady. Let's keep away from anything intellectual. Well, let's talk a little bit about Ace Cylinder, because you are a man of many talents. I'm going to go down. You're interested in this wind foiling?
Wing foiling.
Oh, I'm going to call it wind foiling.
Sure, that'll work.
But wing foiling, and it's apparent that you're standing on something, but it really looks like you're standing on air when I see you riding around in the harbor
and that's the thing that caught me
over at Fort Perry.
when I first saw the sport. It looked like people just kind of gliding over the surface of the water, kind of like a Peter Pan experience,
Yes,
and doing it at about the speed of a water skier.
yes.
And it just fascinated me. But as it turns out, it's kind of an offshoot of windsurfing. It's a smaller board,
Yes.
and it's attached to a hydrofoil that sits below the board. And as soon as you get up to a certain speed, you come right up out of the water.
What is that speed?
I don't know what speed I'm traveling at, but the wind has to be around 13, 14 miles an hour
Okay.
to make it happen for me.
I
Don't
saw
you
it.
foil at like 5 knots? Can you foil at 5 knots or something like that?
I
I
can
don't
get.
know,
Okay.
really.
Okay.
It's a good question. I should know it, but
I
It's
would.
all about the feel, really, right?
what's that?
I said it's about the feel. I
Yeah.
mean, it could be all the conditions are right, but if you don't, if you
Absolutely.
can't feel
I would
into it-
definitely contact Reynolds Wrap about that. Look up online, see what the foil
Wait a minute.
wind.
Wait a minute.
That's a change. It's
Okay,
changing
yeah.
it up.
We don't research here.
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
We're not allowed to research.
That's right. So you're cruising along. But wait a minute. I saw a dude out there maybe they didn't have a sail. They were kind of like herky-jerky getting that
Yeah,
thing up.
yeah.
And they didn't. Was it a sail?
There's all kinds of versions of this sport, and of course the one I'm involved with is centered around a board and a inflatable wing. But if you have the right underwater foil, you can move the board fore and aft. You can bounce it back and forth to a point where it'll propel itself, and if you do it long enough and hard enough, it'll come right up out of the water. As you push down on your front foot and then raise it back up and push
Yes.
down on your back
I
foot.
saw that happening.
They call that pumping.
Pumping. Yeah, well, that's appropriately named. It looked a little absurd.
Well, and you can't do it very long. Even the most fit individuals can only do it for a minute or two, and they're worn out. But
Are they eager, like too eager to get started? Is that what it is? And they just have to like get things moving before the wind actually does the work.
I think the main objective is to develop that skill so that you can go out into the waves, and you can ride these just like a surfboard, and get up on foil as you ride the wave, and then at some point, like all surfers, you have to cut out of the wave and go back
Oh my!
for a new wave, and then you would use that pumping skill to propel yourself to a new spot where you pick up the next wave, jump on that wave, and then come back up on foil and
It wasn't apparent that you were interested in any waves at all while you were doing it. But when I watched you, you were quite good at it, by the way. And
It's not easy.
no.
yeah,
No.
well, it didn't look easy to me, particularly with all the issues I'm having at this time. It looked actually like a lot of pain. But there was great joy when you finished, I noticed. And then the other thing is, it wasn't at all apparent that you were seeking waves, like you were working with waves at all.
Yeah, the type of winging that I'm doing, and that's another name for the sport, really doesn't involve, unless you want to go out and search for waves, but you primarily can do it on flat water or
Okay.
chop. that
Now,
kind of
I would
thing.
ask this. Are you at a point where your skill set is such that you can actually feel like it's an artistic experience?
I'm not there yet.
Are there people like my neighbor there? I forgot her name, but she seems to be very
Well, it's a couple,
good at it.
actually.
Yeah, I
right?
know a couple of my neighbors. They both seem very good at it. Are they like at a higher level of?
They are.
Or you are.
They are. They've been, I know who you're talking about,
Yeah.
and they've been at it for several years, and they're even more passionate about the sport than I am.
Very passionate.
They are out there every day that the wind's blowing 13, 14 miles an hour or more.
Yeah. What do you think led you to this?
I was on a vacation, and as you know, I like to bicycle. I think I mentioned that, and it was a bicycle vacation. And my wife and I came across a center that had this all set up right alongside the road, and people were doing it, and I was just amazed by it, and it just struck me immediately that I've got to try this. I've got to give it a go.
Where was this location?
Croatia.
Wow. I'm glad I asked.
Yeah.
I always go to
That's so cool.
Croatia for all my best ideas.
You know, it was just one of those Croatian bicycle trips.
That got you into winging.
We went out Main Road, right?
Yeah.
We took a left.
Yeah.
And Jesus, we was there. It was unbelievable. I was in freaking Croatia. We were totally wicked good. Anyway,
Exactly,
that's what I'm
exactly.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So you had a good time in Croatia, and then you made it, this new thing. You're pretty passionate about this.
Yeah, I took some pictures. I even took some pictures of the rental sheet that was up on the side of the building, and I thought, well, you know, if I couldn't find a place to do it when I got home, that maybe we could come back someday and give it a try.
Did the secret police that take your camera from you?
No
You
secret
in
police
Croatia?
back, and the time that I did it, there were no issues
That's good.
like that at all.
You know what? Maybe one day you can show me those rental prices because we could always adapt some.
At the
of that.
sailing center.
Yes.
Really, the sailing center should look at this sport.
Yeah.
Because,
Oh, we're looking at it. My boss has gotten a little training,
right.
and my, So we're inching towards it.
Okay.
I was going to say that we sail at the same area as the sailing center, and it's not unusual for 10 or even 20 young people to be walking by on their way down to the sailing spot, and they'll stop and have questions, and I want to do that. I want to, they're really quite interested.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so proud of you because you're over 50, well over 50.
Thank you.
And, and I know your actual age.
Yes.
And I'm pretty cool about that. I think you're the coolest dude I know,
Well.
maybe. She might be cooler, but
Yeah.
There you go.
but you're very cool,
Well,
so I'm
It's like age is like one of those things you don't spend too much time thinking about because there's no upside to it. I mean,
No.
after you're 16 and you have your license.
yeah, that's right.
So
Actually,
So
I
good.
think that
So true.
after 25, being able to rent a car.
there you go.
Yep.
Oh, there's another one. Yeah, that's good.
It's always.
And can you get can you rent a room
I think you can.
before that?
I think you can.
Imagine that.
I think it's 18 to 21.
Yeah. Don't
So
know.
you're up in Blessing Hill, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you go on that one.
It's a good spot. We actually have some
I know.
wingers over in that neighborhood
Oh,
that we don't see very often over on this side. And
but you do all the winging over there.
over here, yeah,
Over here on
it's a beautiful setup because of the way the land wraps around our launch area. It protects the water and keeps it smooth, which makes it easier for learning.
So true.
Yeah. So
And then you have that nice, predictable sea breeze.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Do you ever just jump off and just pick up a few little necks while you're out there?
I have not done that, but I've seen a lot of people
I know.
clamming. Yeah, it's a
they're not
popular
now.
spot.
It's closed now for the season. It's seasonally open.
Yeah.
So that's over near Fort Perry. Yeah, Fort Perry's pretty hopping place now, and I think that's a lot to do with CSF and all the people that are fishing there, and there's people now living there in RVs, which is really cool. So they get to look out over I think it's a 360-degree view for some of them.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Has there ever been an armed robbery at your home or anywhere else?
Let me think about this. No, we haven't.
Good,
had
that's
an
good.
armed robbery. I could go back to the fort though for a second and
Yeah.
and mention that it is getting busier, and as you know, we winged all winter long. Just have winter gear that you wear to do that, and it was quiet and there was no boats coming and going. But today, I just came from the beach, and
You smell a little bit like the salt water.
thank you.
Good smell.
I had my first close call with traffic today. So
Marine traffic?
yes,
Okay.
yes. So we have little windows in the wing that theoretically you can look through and see what's going on the other side. But in reality, as you're sailing, you really have to get everything just right to be able to see anything on the other side because the wing is at an angle, and you're always moving around, and you're trying to balance up on this thing. You have a lot going on.
Yeah, I guess so.
And today, and I've been practicing the art of jibing, which I don't even know if
Yeah, I know
we
what the
should
word jibe means.
go into describing that. But basically, it's turning away from the wind and turning the craft around so that you can go back the other way.
Correct.
And so that is a fairly difficult.
That's important. It's like
It's
learning how to stop on skis.
it is important, and it's difficult too. I mean, I've been working at this for 6 months.
Is tacking easier?
No, it's probably just a little bit more difficult.
Okay. Makes sense because you lose a little momentum,
Right.
I'd imagine.
Well, and you
if
have
you
to come.
can't come home, though, that would have been difficult on the first trip that you made, right? Because then you don't know how to jibe, and you just keep going, and suddenly you're in Portugal.
Well, okay, so I should back up and just say that the solution to that is you fall off the board, you get in the water, you turn the board around, you get the wing reoriented, you get back up on the board, and then you lift the wing out of the water. It's a process. You really have to love this to put up with all that aggravation. But to finish my little story,
Yeah.
Please do.
I'm intrigued.
is I was up on foil and I was sailing towards the pier, and you really need maximum speed in order to make it all the way through this big turn. So I felt like I really had a lot of pressure on the sail. I had maximum speed, and I turned to my right to go into the jibe, and there was a blue runabout staring at me right in front of me. He was coming in. He was going to use the boat launch and come out of the water. And he probably thought I was just going to continue on straight because we were on intersecting courses. And I was able to, keep it all together, steer back into a straight line and keep on going. And I'm not sure he even realized that there was any danger there. But I realized that I really have to get that wing way up above me and look around before I make any turns like that.
Well, it's good that you learned that before you struck the boat or
sure.
was struck by the
before it
boat.
gets even too busy out there.
Yeah, so that was my takeaway for today,
yeah.
a valuable lesson. Yeah.
You know what? Boaters are not always smart.
Well, and if you don't know the other crafts,
Yeah.
um,
Well, I have to say, you just remind me that I will have to teach the young ones who will be new this year how to sail around the. We share the water.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I would say that.
I think it's not something new. I'm sure that's something you teach each year.
Yeah, but I would say that the winging has gotten much more popular in the last handful
it's
of years.
quite a group we have now.
Yeah, I would say in a handful of years ago, it was just the couple you were talking about, and a few more. But
Yeah.
but on a good windy day, there's I've counted up to 15
Yeah.
that are winging about.
Yeah.
And the hardest, to be honest, as a boater around there, the hardest is actually when you all fall because you're like, oh shoot, I thought you were going to keep going. Now you're a
Yeah.
duck in the water.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
good to know. So
Imagine what it's like for them
yeah,
when they fall.
being a duck in the water.
I mean, you hate to say it, but really, we're not in control.
No.
At least when we're learning.
Yeah. And the hard part is we have youth learning how to sail. So, but luckily on our Hobie Cats, there's always an instructor.
Yeah.
And children are always so attentive.
That is why there's an instructor on those Hobies. Yeah.
So we're going to get into some of the meat of the questions for you now.
Okay.
Are you through with discussions about your wing foiling?
Sure.
I'm not through, but if you want to interject, some of that
Come
into
back
your
to it,
points.
yeah.
But these are the real important questions that we need to ask. We asked about where you live, but have you ever counted to 1,000 or sung 99 bottles of beer on the wall?
I have sung 99 bottles of beer on the wall.
All the way?
It was a long time ago, like on the track bus or something like that, coming back from an event.
Really good. So what was your featured event? Which event were you most suited for?
Well, again,
Triathlete?
another unusual sport, and I'm full of them, really. I was a pole vaulter.
Cool.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
I think you told me that.
Yeah, we didn't have any pole vaulters at the time I was, and in high school. And so, again, it looked like something that would be a lot of fun.
So you really like to fly.
I do. I guess I'm the guest. We can talk about me, but I feel funny talking about me here. But yeah, I have my pilot's license.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Went to flying school down in Florida, and
You have a plane?
no,
You rent them occasionally?
well, I haven't flown regularly for quite a while.
Okay.
It's an expensive hobby, and raising a family and
Yeah.
having a career and all that stuff. But I do get a chance to go up now and then and go with other people that are rated and have planes, and so get a chance to do
You
it.
see how these inane questions sometimes lead to these wonderful answers?
Yeah.
So that's something that's really great, that you're a pilot and that we found out about your other flying experience as you pole vaulted. I really respect the pole vaulters because they are transferring energy
Yeah.
to that pole and relying upon that pole. Was your pole, was it made of fiberglass or was it like a bamboo one?
Fiberglass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Which Beatles song do you like most?
Wait, I thought I'd tell you a little side story.
Please,
If
do.
we- do we have time?
We have time.
Okay.
That's what we're about.
So I went to high school in Monroe, Connecticut. And Monroe, Connecticut is right next to Newtown,
Oh, yeah.
which
Unfortunate
which
place.
which is, part of Newtown is Sandy Hook.
Yeah, I know.
A very, very sad story. But so the Newtown High School in Monroe would get together and compete from time to time. And one of the people on the track team for Newtown was Bruce Jenner.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine?
Whoa.
You must have been pretty good at it.
No, I wasn't. He was.
Wow. He's an Olympian, right?
Yeah, he
He
was
won.
a gifted,
He
What?
won the decathlon.
Yeah.
Yes. He was on the Wheaties.
truly a gifted athlete, and he was good at everything.
Were you able to watch him compete?
Well, yeah, I was just going to say that when we had competitions, we would start out at a 9-foot level or something like that, and work our way up to 10.5. Struggling for anything more than that. And when we were all finished, then Bruce would come out, and he'd come from another event, sprinting or something like that, and he'd take 1 or 2 practice jumps, and then boom, he'd outjump everybody by a couple of feet, and it
Wow.
was over.
Wow.
That's
So,
amazing.
Yeah, he wowed everybody
It's
for
amazing
sure.
athlete.
Yeah,
That is a cool story.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool story on him.
That's a great story.
He's become a woman, and he's a whole other life, and just
Yeah.
lived a full life.
I wonder if I wonder if she's still active in her athletics.
Yes, I do too. Yeah, I
just
wanted
wondering.
to.
You
but
don't read
we
many
prob-
stories these days, do you?
No,
I think he was a golfer, an active golfer, and he was doing that long after his sports
so
career.
maybe she's now golfing.
Yeah.
Perhaps. So hopefully, that's what I'd like to do someday when I get better. Which Beatles song do you like most?
Oh, that's tough.
That is tough.
Okay, were you at the?
No.
No. I'm curious.
Day Tripper.
Oh yeah. Dream
You're going to ask me why? Or?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't care. No, I'm just kidding. Why? Why Day Tripper?
All right. This goes back to high school, too.
Must be from the flying.
Now, a lot of us back in those days played in garage bands. We'd
Yeah.
get together with friends that knew how to play the guitar, the drums, or whatever, and form a band. And then you'd play at dances, high school dances at various places in town. And so we had a battle of the bands
amazing.
one Saturday night. And there were people that, other bands that we knew. We kind of knew what to expect from them. But there was a band from Westport, Connecticut, we had never heard of. And to make a long story short, they got up on the stage and played Day Tripper, and it was over. It was like a Bruce Jenner moment. It's just they were really good singers, good musicians.
And they became the band.
No, I can't. I don't know what happened to them.
Oh,
They called themselves the Valiants. I can't even believe I remembered that.
Wow.
The Valiants.
good. That's what we're all about here. We're remembering things.
Yeah. So Day Tripper.
Day Tripper.
Yeah.
Day Tripper because they beat you in a battle of bands.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Were you at any of their concerts, the Beatles?
No, never attended one.
So, what instrument did you play in your band?
It's the organ, Hammond organ.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, we might get you. Well, maybe we should have a garage band. Wouldn't that be fun to have a garage
Let's
band?
do it.
Let's do that.
Let's do it. I think first we have to find out if we can sing.
I'm sure we can.
Okay.
We can figure it out. I'd love that.
Yeah, he can sing.
So, what about a typical life in the day in the life of a cylinder? What's it like?
These days?
Yeah, these days.
Oh. Well, I'm retired, so I don't have to go off to work every morning. And
What'd you do though before?
well, I did a couple of things over my career. The last part of my career, I was into biotech manufacturing
Yeah,
and making biotech drugs.
we need those.
And
I do.
prior to that, I was in sales and marketing.
Very good.
I see you wincing over there. Your back is bothering you, isn't
So, what about a typical day in the life of AH? What are you doing?
Oh, these days, as you indicated, I'm a pickleball player. So 2 or 3 days of the week, I like to go over to the Y and play pickleball.
Mm.
And my wife and I also go over the Y and work out a little bit. You know, get on the treadmill and use some of the machines and try to stay in shape.
And you bike together.
We bike together. This time of year, when it's over 50 degrees, we like to go out first thing in the morning. And
Sounds like an idyllic life. That's really that you've done. Like, you're continually challenging yourself, and that was what I admire most about you, Ace.
well, it keeps it interesting for sure.
How'd you get your name, Ace? I mean, you must. Did you pull up Aces one
It
time?
was given to me. I don't know what the basis is, to be honest with you, but it stuck.
That's good. Been living with it for a while now.
Yeah.
How old are your oldest favorite shoes?
Oh boy.
This is very revealing.
Yeah, I was just, you're gonna.
I have old shoes.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, over 25 years old shoes.
Wow.
My gosh.
Yellow Converse.
Oh, but they're still in style.
They are. Yep. They were
Wow.
my mom's, and I started wearing them when I was. Yeah, the cool thing, I was obsessed with Converse before Nike bought them, because you could go into the store and get $10 Converse.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I got you
That was
beat
my-
on that one.
$10 Converse.
We got the $5 knockoffs from, not knockoffs, they were made at the factory in Bristol, Rhode Island, but you could go to the back door and pay $5 for the ones that had like a little nick in the rubber wasn't perfect, or
sure.
the mold, or the, had a little piece of something on there, or a different color, whatever.
Good deal.
Yeah, $5.
$5.
Chucks.
Chucks.
Yeah.
Exactly what we got for $5.
But yeah, I was looking at those shoes today. Actually, I'm like, wow, you are some old shoes. Still,
You have some old shoes?
Well, I do. And this one goes way back too. Back to my radio days. You know, style was a lot
Was
different.
Bruce
than it
Jenner
is now.
visiting the radio?
No.
This is so cool that, you never know who people are going to have met in life.
This kind of goes back to the 70s. And so the style was bell bottoms.
Yes.
And I have a pair of shoes that are so unique that I didn't wear them that much really in the 70s because
Can I ask you a question about them?
yes,
Because I'm getting a flashback too.
Uh-oh.
Because we're similar age.
yeah.
Are they leather and then they meet in the middle like this? They have like a single thing up the middle and they're kind of wide in the front.
These are
Rubber soled.
these are platform shoes.
Oh
I
no!
was hoping
Wow.
you were going to say that.
Blue suede.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Blue
my!
suede platform shoes that have a white crisscross pattern
Are
going
you
on.
are you wearing those out?
Do you still have them?
I still have them in a box at home.
You should wear them to the Katunkwit Cafe sometime.
Come waltzing in with those things on.
Come waltzing in,
Maybe I get a free coffee.
do
Yes.
this. You can't see me in
Yeah.
Oregon, but we've got the hand going up like this, and it's starting at
Disco
the
dance?
at the stomach, which actually is a little extra stomach
Sure,
there.
John Travolta move.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
No, I don't think I have it in me, but
Well, I'm
It
going to go
sounds
with
cool.
another clothing item. Have you ever worn nylons?
no.
What purpose?
This is a nylon shirt that I'm wearing. That's as close to.
No, that's not what I'm
okay.
going for. What purpose do nylons serve, and why were they so coveted during World War II? Because I think a lot of babies were born as a result of the nylon exchange.
Could you answer this for me?
I don't know. What purpose do nylon serve? I have no idea.
Oh,
I'm asking the only female in the group here. Bailey, what's up with that?
In World War II, or like in general?
Well, I think,
I
do
think
you ever wear nylons?
I would say in life I have worn nylons, and I would say
Did you wear pantyhose or nylons?
Can you ask
Is
these
there a-
This
questions?
is too
is there a
revealing.
difference?
Yeah.
Is there a difference?
I think you prop up I don't know. My grandmother used to wear nylons. Let's get off of this. That's a ridiculous question. Are you a gambler?
Did she used to turn up her nylons in warm
Yeah.
weather because they were too
yeah,
warm?
Yeah. What did she wear them for? Why couldn't we see her legs?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, we should move on.
Are you a gambler?
No. Well, I play the lottery. I buy lottery tickets occasionally,
Yeah.
when I'm inspired.
Do you have brothers?
I do. I have one brother.
Did you fight with your brother physically when you were young?
No.
No
It's
battles.
actually shocking.
Well, I can remember getting yelled at for bothering my brother. Like when we used to go on car trips in the summertime,
Yeah.
and we had a Volkswagen camper that we would go around the country on, or in,
Idyllic.
Seriously.
and
It's like romantic. I
Yeah.
mean, not romantic. The
Yeah,
other
yeah,
thing.
like romanticized.
Yes, it's wonderful. Yes. Keep
and
going.
I can remember my dad pulling off the road more than once. And laying down the law that if we didn't stop fooling around, if I didn't stop pestering my brother,
You weren't going to get any more Oreos.
that was it.
That was it.
That
That
was
was
it.
I love it because that was such a threat. That's it. You're
Sure.
like, what's it? But it's a threat.
I didn't have the wherewithal at that age to say, yeah,
Yeah.
so what's going to happen?
What's the age difference between you and your brother?
3 years.
Oh, wow. And you never fought.
3 years and 3 days.
Does he fly?
He doesn't fly unless he comes with me, but he became an airframe and power plant mechanic.
Oh, very good.
And
Well, he'll be a guest next
sure,
before you know it.
sure. You have to come up from Plano, Texas, but
Have you ever been a member of a rock and roll band, which you've already answered?
Thank
and the answer is yes. And how about a cult?
no.
Okay, good.
Now,
How
wing
often-
foilers are pretty culty.
Yeah, that's true. Something to that. Are you in a chat group with them?
With who?
Oh, the wing foilers?
Wing foilers, like you are with the teen thing.
Yes,
Okay.
Snapchat.
Okay, be careful with that. It
Really?
becomes
Oh,
a
no,
cult.
WhatsApp.
Oh, WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, sorry.
You're gonna find that to be a cult at some point. How often during the year do you bathe in the ocean? That's a funny question.
Probably 5 days in a row this week.
That's right. 'Cause you got a little crab on your foot right now
I
as you
could
walked
have.
in. Who are you most jealous of?
Oh,
It doesn't have to be me or Bailey.
that's a tough question. Maybe we come back to that. I got to
Okay.
think about that.
Bruce Jenner.
No.
Definitely not.
How did not growing up in Ketunkwit affect your ace sailing?
Well, I
mean,
live,
how'd you-
I grew up inland, if you will,
That's what I mean.
down in Connecticut,
I knew that.
and I guess the first time I was exposed to sailing, I saw a plywood sunfish for sale,
Whoa.
and I had a paper route,
Old
so
school.
I had a little money sitting there,
Like that.
and so we bought it was on Lake Zor, actually, Lake Zor in Connecticut. And I bought the plywood boat, which really didn't sail at all. I mean, it sat very low in the water. It was like a barge. And, but there was something about the boat, I painted it up and I was able to get some components for it and what have you. And it at the time, it didn't seem like a big move to me, but I moved on to other things and sold the boat eventually. And then my brother and I received a little money from my aunt that passed away right around the time that I was getting out of college. And we said, hey, let's buy a boat, a small boat, get a little boat together and see how it goes. So we got a little 23-foot Sea Sprite. And then all of a sudden our attention went down to Milford, Connecticut. And it all, from there,
Yeah.
I guess listeners don't know, but I've been involved with sailing ever since. And
Oh, now they know.
yeah.
That is cool. Yeah, I have to say, Sunfish was the first boat I sailed.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's affordable and,
Yeah.
fairly easy to sail. Yeah, get all the basics.
I found one in the marsh one time when I was, after a big storm, and
Oh, broke
I
loose.
tried to sail it, and then I just let it go. So
Sunfishes are heavy as well.
Yeah.
yeah, they do. They are heavy. For those of you Katunkwit followers of Katunkwit Chronicles, you're aware that typically I write some sort of poetry and then perform that poetry or recite it, usually too performatively. However, we have none other than Bailey Harbor here, and she's going to present a poem for us. I have not seen this poem or heard this poem or read this poem, but I'm very interested to hear it. And here she is, none other than our own Bailey Harbor.
Well, with that introduction, the pressure's on. So I have to say, a little background is I wrote this poem being inspired when I was sitting at Rat Tail in the fall.
Rat Tail Hollow.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Rat Tail Hollow, and one of my favorite places in the world, I would say. So for those of you in the world, what Rat Tail is so special is you can look out to the sea. It's the most southern point of our island, and yeah, you can see.
And we have
know
listeners now in Germany. Are you aware of this? No. I'm receiving mail now from Germany.
Oh, great.
It's all in German, which I don't understand, but it seems like they're happy with us.
You never know in those Slavic languages.
Essentially, you're looking out that way towards Europe.
Yeah.
From Rat Tail.
Ish, yeah. Okay, so the poem, goes like this. Rocks are crones, wrinkled with wisdom and stories of another time, holding us while we go fearlessly into the future, holding lessons of the past, but also letting the earth alchemize the old energies that do not serve us anymore. Thank you, Earth. This is our time to show our worth. Feet in the earth, soul to the sun, I shall devote myself to thee. Layers, shapes, colors, lines, holes, shadows, smooth, rough, the wondrous and glorious slate. Eons of movement, growth and destruction too slow for humans to comprehend. Tons, moving, miles through thousands of years, creating the physical construct of our life. Constant waves, ocean waves, light waves, proton waves, storm waves, making up our physical, energetic, and quantum existence. Constants and constant change co-create what we know as life and death. The cycle of it all, ripples end, waves crash, but their energy transfers somewhere else.
Oh, wow, that's
very good.
Oof. We got to keep her here.
Yeah,
Ace.
absolutely.
Thanks,
Oh my goodness, that's a wonderful poem.
Thanks.
Yes,
I appreciate
it's got
that.
movement in it and energy, as you suggest. And I often look at rocks and I think of them more as animated than inanimate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Well, to imagine that, like they have to get here.
They have electrical impulse too.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. It can be measured, and I know that because there's a person that does that on this island. Measures plants and electrical energy from plants and stone, and it's amazing. They almost have a life.
Yeah, how old they are is amazing.
And they've been dragged here and drudged here through the Ice Age.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some of them were here too, so we have to think of them. And all essentially what they've done is they've taken on all these migrant rocks, and they're living with them harmoniously.
They found a way to get along.
They did.
Yes, they found their harmony.
Sure.
They did.
And they had to change a little bit, maybe rub off a little here, rub off a little there, but in the end, they all fit together nicely.
This is what I'm talking about. This is poetry in the making right here on Katunkwit Chronicles. So now we get to that section in our program. I have this little... Is it BS or not? And I have a couple of these for you. Do you have a BS story for us, Ace?
I don't.
Okay.
Sorry.
You gave us a nice bunch of stories, though, and if you had any trepidation about visiting in advance of your visit, it wasn't apparent. And then you went on and built many stories, which is
Right.
really what this is all about. So I'm really pleased that you're visiting. I hope you come back another time.
Oh yeah.
Well, Bailey, you just did your poem, so I'll do one.
Great.
Is it BS or not? Cody Green of Blue Green Avenue built a ceramic tiled pizza oven a few weeks back. He hadn't ever used it as the manufacturer of the tiles required that the mortar dry for 14 days. When he and his wife Angie returned from a weekend of sailing last week, they found that his neighbors that live next door had rented their house. A house that looks quite like Cody's and Angie's Victorian with a wraparound porch. As Cody and Angie always leave their doors unlocked for the gardener and the maid service folks, the neighbors' house renters thought they'd found the right house and proceeded to settle in. They built a fire in the pizza oven, apparently went to town making pizzas all weekend and using the hot tub. Upon Cody and Angie's return, they found that they had a house full of people visiting from Canada who had attended a wedding in Aquidneck Island. Cody said, we came home to the surprise about 2 o'clock from a trip to Block Island on the boat, and the house was jamming. The music was playing, and the fridge was full of beer. We just joined in. It was too far down the road to disrupt the party. Our kids live in New York City, and we hardly ever see them, so it was cool to just hang out with the Canadians. They cleaned everything before they left that night. They're coming back next year for a week. Angie said, I'm cool with it too, but our neighbors didn't give us a dime when they found out what happened. So uncool. Cody said, the Canadians, after a few bottles of my best scotch, continually referred to Rhode Island as the 11th province. Isn't that so funny?
Ooh.
Is it bullshit, or is it not?
I'm notoriously terrible at these.
We'll go with Ace then. Ace, is it bullshit or not?
No, I don't think it's bullshit.
Is it bullshit or not?
I think I just have to disagree. I'm going to say it's bullshit.
It is not bullshit.
I knew.
They did
so
had this happen to them. I was, I get a lot of people come up to me during the
so
course of the
crazy.
week as I'm traipsing around having a cup of tea now and again downtown, and people come up to me, and then I saw Cody, and I said, "What's been happening?" And he gave me this story. It's wonderful. I guess Angie's a little upset, but with the neighbors, not with the Canadians. They love the Canadians. That was fun. So what do you have for us,
For my
Bailey Harbor?
Oh, well, it's a very short one, but so
It's okay. Short's okay.
So the island next to
You're
us.
short.
Yeah, it's true. The listeners may not know that. I have a big personality. They may imagine me 5'11".
Yes.
Yep,
Well, you're 5'9".
And that's the beauty of radio.
that's true.
You know.
Okay, so the island next to us.
You're not
Jamestown.
short, by the way. Sorry.
I am short.
Don't tell anybody.
Conanicut Island was named after one of the indigenous chiefs. Is that bullshit or not?
Well, it certainly sounds Indian.
I'm going to suggest that is absolute 100% truth.
Yeah.
It is bullshit.
Oh no!
Is it bullshit?
It's bullshit.
Look at the grin on your
Yes,
face.
I know. I was like,
She pulled it over on
I
both
did.
of us.
Thank goodness. Well, it's because it's we grew up hearing that Conanicut Island was named after Chief Canonicus.
For those of you out there in North Carolina, the island that's just south of Catunquit is the island of Conanicut. However, it's been changed when the British came here, and they changed it to Jamestown for King James's purposes. So this is what we're referring to as we're out here discussing this. Anyway, go on.
So I did learn from the Tamaquag Museum, which is Rhode Island's only indigenous museum. And they said that, the Narragansett tribe spent a lot of time and in Connecticut Island, Jamestown, and they said that they would never name an island after a person. That's a very
that's a very English thing to do.
Very English thing to do. So really, what Canonicus means is Long Island.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think it's really funny because so many people, when you go basically out of New England and you tell people you're from Rhode Island, everyone's response in my part, oh, do you go to the city a lot? Because everybody thinks that we're from Long Island, not Rhode Island, which
That's
is
so true.
its own state, which is funny because Connecticut Island is Long Island.
Well, I propose that we change the name to Long Island. Come on, it's the thing to do.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Come on.
they're going to have to decide that on their own. Here, we're over here in Ketunkwit, and
Gulf of America,
we're enjoying.
you know.
Oh yeah, we can change anything.
So yeah,
That's
so
right.
I have to say it. Once I learned that, we went for some professional development. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, like whoa.
Like whoa.
Totally whoa.
That's interesting.
Well, we have to pay for all this lush situation that we're involved in with here. All the lights are on and all that stuff, so we have to pay for that. Commercials are as follows. The Elks of Ketunkwit are asking for donations to provide scholarships for needy children living in Providence and intending to matriculate at Rhode Island State University in the fall of 2025. Millie Requiem, full rack leader, holiest and highest Ketunkwit elk, said, "The people of Ketunkwit can afford to provide for others and have each year. We are sure you will again this year. Last year we raised monies for 3 full scholarships and 1 partial scholarship. We encourage those interested in applying for Ketunkwit Elk Scholarship to write a short story of no less than 10,000 words about a hunting trip you may have taken in the past or a fictional hunting trip. Last year's first-place winner of the short story contest was a young woman from the west side of Providence, and she wrote about her grandmother's recipe book," says Millie Requiem, full rack leader, holiest and highest, the Ketunkwit elk. She's a full rack leader. I wonder what that really means.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have a notice from the Elks. Then there's Reggie's Summer Pop-Up Pork Pie Food Cart.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
That's
be in-
great.
That is good. We'll be in various locations in town, such as the beach, Town Memorial Square, ball fields, bike path, and he'll be at Fort Perry. Reggie offers great fast food made in the tradition of his granddad, Reginald Fenton Beatty of Shropshire, England. Oh, so he's from Shropshire. You haven't had a pork pie till you've tasted Reggie's Summer Pop-Up Pork Pie. Buy one or buy a dozen. On site, as is customary, until the police and the health department are notified of his route.
Ooh.
So that's 2 or 3 weeks of this pop-up stuff, and then Reggie has to hit a different island.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Reggie. Stephanie Silk Sheets is home from college and will clean your house from top to bottom. Stephanie prides herself on type A cleaning, whatever that means. I guess she's very particular. Stephanie never uses harsh or abrasive chemicals in your home, only the finest plant-based products. Stephanie says, "I have to be using these products. Why would I want to hurt myself and you through the use of harsh chemical-based cleaning products? Prices are based upon size of the home, time spent, and the wealth of the homeowner. Contact Stephanie Silk Sheets for a complete home inspection and quote. StephSilksheets.com. Okay, this is a good one. This is a good one here. This is a new company. Believe it or not, they're named Guys with Guns Who Lift Your Shit. Guys with Guns Who Lift Your Shit is a hauling and lifting service for all your heavy lifting needs. Guys with Guns will haul a house worth of shit to the dump for you, or pack a moving pod with all of your household furniture and items. Have a patio to build? Guys with guns will do the digging and lifting and soil removal, place the patio blocks, and do it all. Call us today for a free estimate. We'll bring our guns. We are dudes with some serious pipes. So that's a good one.
That's
right?
a good one.
New
yeah.
business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
It's very
appreciate
similar to
alliteration.
that other company with the guys that paint, right?
Oh yeah.
Hunks that paint. I don't know.
Well, you got to be creative, I think.
That's true.
You know?
Creativity
In
is...
this market.
Yeah, you need to reinvent everything.
Jude's Java. This is a very, very blunt person. You know Jude, right? You know Jude?
I've heard of Jude. But
Yeah, she's... if you've met her, you know her. Jude's Java's opening with a Mexican restaurant was recently on Kentucky, Maine. Jude says, "This is a no-bullshit establishment. Come in and get your Joe and get the hell out," says owner Jude Mallory. "Everybody knows me in town. I don't want to talk to you, and you don't want to talk to me. Come in, get your fix, and get out." I love that she's blunt,
you
right?
know, how refreshing is that, really?
I know.
That
I think
she'd come right out and tell you what she'd like.
I think she gets probably gets the guys with the guns who lift your shit visiting for coffee now and again.
Yeah, very possible.
What were you going to say?
I'll-
Harbor. Holler out. Harbor.
Yeah, I'd go there.
I know.
Yeah, I'd go
Coffee's good.
there. Coffee's good, and you know what? I appreciate knowing where I stand with people.
No bullshit.
Sure.
Get me freaking coffee. And don't call it Grande. The Scouts will be having a dance on Saturday, June 7th, 2025 at Fort Perry Pavilion. The Scouts are a gender-neutral scouting organization that welcomes both boys, girls, and those that choose to identify as non-binary. Young people from Kentucky aged 13 to 17 are welcome to attend. Members of the Scouts that are 18 years of age are welcome to attend as chaperones and will receive scouting credits toward the Osprey Scout Badge. Clothing required, shorts and shirts, shoes a minimum. This year's theme for the Scout dance is Bring a Damn Can of Food. The local band from Rogers High School, Comatose, will be performing. Sounds like they might be out of it, though. The Kentucky Water Department reminds you to look for leaks in your pipes, toilets, or under your sink upon return to Kentucky. Your drip becomes a gallon, and the water here in Kentucky is finite. I thought that was a very important note.
Water is gold.
This is a really nice little moment. Oh, thank God for that little break. We have a really exciting and different event this day, as we are working our way into. I've been singing songs from a musical that I've written. It's called The Happening, and this is Act 1, Scene 2. It's part of that. So we're going to sing a song later in this program together.
Yeah.
All right, so that's kind of fun.
I can't wait for that.
And right now, I'm just going to clear up who everyone is in this program. We have a narrator. That will be me. I will also be playing Don and Uncle Rudy. As Ace will play Gertie, and a very short little piece where the mailman comes in very briefly. And Gertie, I would suggest, Ace, that you understand that Gertie is racist and bigoted and all that stuff. Mostly bigoted.
Okay.
And Starling is the woman that you've been aware of in the past, where she is in 1972, thinks she's the enlightened person. She smokes a lot of pot. So Don is in his 50s. Rudy's in his 80s. Gertie's in his 50s. Mailman is 38. Starling, she's in her early 20s. And quite beautiful.
Oh.
with her flowing hat. That's a red hat that she always wears. Okay, so that's enough for you to know. So here we are, folks, if you're listening in. Act 1, Scene 2 of the musical, The Happening. The next morning, the clock is larger in the second scene. The bright morning sun shines through the window on the couple, awakening from sleep. Starling awakens startled. She lifts her head to see the painting of her at the foot of her bed on an easel. Well, it's really Don's bed. The painting, nearly 5 feet tall, depicts her draping from her floppy hat, as if the hat were part of her body. Her flowing hair moves into the curvature of her chest as the brushstrokes reveal Starling's dark side through the painter's use of Prussian blue and black together. Starling stares at her likeness for some time.
Wake up, Don. Wake up.
What? What a dream.
I have to go. I have to go now. I have to go now.
Oh, what's your hurry? What's your hurry? My dream. My dream was about my Uncle Rudy. He was standing over my shoulder. He was looking over my shoulder while I was painting a mirror image of him and me, and I'm painting in the image, and I should paint that. And then you were there smoking clove cigarettes. What do you think of the painting?
I told you, I don't do this anymore. This is 60s stuff. I can't.
It's okay, Starling. I'll walk you home. Where's home for you?
Providence. You can't walk with me home. I have a car.
I was hoping you said that. I don't have a car. I don't drive.
Driving is for assholes and weak people.
I'm glad you agree. I have to open the shop in an hour. You want some breakfast?
No, I just want to go.
Starling lifts her dress over her head under the covers, gets out of bed and walks downstairs, grabs her hat and coat, and leaves the back room through the side entrance. She bumps into an old man in his 80s, Uncle Rudy, who tips his hat to Starling and places his hand in the open doorway, holding the door open, and then walks into the back room. She does. Don makes his way downstairs, rubbing his eyes as he had worked on Starling's painting well into the night. He's rubbing his eyes with both hands as he enters the back room. Donald, why you got a beautiful girl running out of here in the morning? What are you doing here? Your father know you got a beautiful girl running out in the morning. And besides, your father never wore a mustache. No. Your mother, God rest her soul, wouldn't laugh like this. No, not the one a bit. Uncle Rudy, you want coffee? I'm making coffee. I recognize that's a beautiful girl. That girl's been on the TV. You got a famous husband, a movie actor. I know for sure. Come on, Uncle Rudy. What are you talking about? No, Donald. I'm sure about this. I'm sure she's got a big husband. He plays in the westerns. He played the bad guy all the time. One time he was on an award, and she's on TV at a beautiful smile on the TV during the ball game when I switch over. During the commercials, I get some exercise around the lamp, over to the phonograph, get a glass of wine, and then back to the ball game. You know what I mean. Yes, but who is he? Think, Uncle. Enter Don's best friend, Gertie Moreno. Gertie throws open the side door and enters fast with 4 bags of groceries in his hands. The vegetables are flowing out of the bags and dropping on the kitchen floor. Gertie's trying to pick up the vegetables as more groceries fall from the bags. He heaves the bags on the kitchen table and shoves the items from the table, including stacks of business invoices and unopened mail, glasses, Italian bread, and used coffee cups.
Lunch is on me. I'm cooking today. Don't worry about a thing.
What the hell? What the hell is going on here? What are we having, young man? I'm starved. You having a Chianti in those bags, young man? I like a nice Chianti.
Mr. Giacomo, I didn't bring any Chianti.
You don't worry about anything, boys. I got a Chianti right here. A nice bottle with a rooster on the label. You know, it's a good one. With the roosters on the label. Don hands a drinking glass from the drying rack and hands it to his uncle. Gertie shoves the mess on the table aside and begins washing and chopping the vegetables loudly, humming while he works. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, Uncle. What are you doing walking around town with a bottle of Chianti in your coat? Did I miss something, Gertie? Easy with the chopping, will you please? Don grabs some medicine from the sink area and takes all the pills at once with one backward movement of his head.
Tonight's the FAH meeting with the guys. You knew that.
I read about that in the newspaper. A meeting about the FAH? What's a FAH anyway? It's a club, Uncle. It's all the guys, you know. It's just all the guys.
We do good things. Give some toys to the kids. Mr. Potato Head, Barbie, Pet Rocks. What do these things have in common, Donald? Mr. Potato Head, Barbie, and a pet rock?
I don't know, Gerd. What?
They all have shit for brains.
Did you see the price of cat litter, Donald? Uncle Rudy's nose begins to bleed. Oh no, my nose is bleeding. Cat litter. You don't even have a cat, Uncle. Realizing that his uncle is bleeding. Get some towels. His nose is bleeding. For Christ's sake, Gertie, stop with the goddamn vegetables and give him some paper towels.
Put your head back.
I thought it was apply pressure. Head forward. Meanwhile, Uncle Rudy is bleeding onto the floor. He gets up and staggers across the room to get a roll of paper towels, bleeding on the floor with each step. It'll stop. It happens when I don't have enough Chianti. He stoops with the paper towel roll in one hand and the bloody paper towel in the other hand as he attempts to wipe up the blood. As he wipes, the blood drips incessantly from his nose, further blooding the floor as he works. It's a fruitless effort. Get off the floor, Uncle. You're too old to be scraping around the floor. Let me get you some ice. Another glass of Chianti, and just sit down, please. Don helps him to his feet and into a chair. Pointing to the glass of wine and directing his comments to Donald, Gertie says,
Getting ready for FAH meeting? That's the way I prepare for the meeting. Get started around 9 a.m. on the days of... Don, pour me a glass. I might be able to join your uncle in a drink after all, it's a holiday, isn't it?
Your girlfriend coming to the FAH meeting tonight, Don? Rudy continues to bleed from his nose slightly as he drinks more Chianti.
Your girlfriend. Don, you got something going? Is it Norma the hairdresser? She likes you. You know, all those free haircuts constantly over here. Took up painting and all. I knew it was her.
It's not her. I mean, I don't have a girlfriend. It's not her, Gertie. She's too young for him.
Artists don't have the boundaries that you and I have, Uncle Rudy. It's an open society, open season. Renaissance man, Don. Get it done. Get it done, man. That's what I come over here to remember the days when I had a life.
With the paper towel plugged in his nose and noticeably feeling the effects of wine, Uncle Rudy says, "What do you mean? You mean like a hunting season? I like the taste of venison. How come I got no nephews that like a hunting and get some ducks and a deer and like that?" A loud knock on the back door. Bam, 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 bam. The Van Gogh painted flower window shakes and then shatters, and a woman's arm enters the space, opens the locked back door, and she enters with an M16 caliber rifle in her left hand. As the door opens fully, Don steps forward to protect Uncle Rudy and the others. He picks up a dry paintbrush in his hand, which is raised. The audience cannot see who it is, as she is wearing a burqa-type garment.
I hope no one saw me.
What do you want? Starling reveals herself from the burqa. Rudy pours himself another glass of Chianti from the table, while the others look away. He's oblivious to the noise, the intrusion, and didn't hear the commotion.
I'm in hiding.
Don approaches her slowly.
When I'm trying to lose my wife for a few hours, I hit a few golf balls. Sometimes I even carry around a 9-iron when I walk. But I never thought of carrying an automatic rifle downtown through Warren. She's a beaut. Don, you sure know how to pick the gentle, kind, and generous type babes.
Hey, boy, so you remember that one with the big knuckles and the blonde hair? Rudy realizes now that there's a woman in the room. Madonna mia, what have I said? Please accept my deepest apologies, young lady. You are the most beautiful than any of the other girls. I like the dancer very much. Lots of talent. Could sing a soprano like the birds in the trees that first beautiful day of spring. You know what I'm talking about, Gertie? Don, you know. He drains the glass of Chianti. Rudy realizes that Starling is carrying a gun and is the woman he met earlier. Don is just about to say these same words and mouths the words, and then Rudy says, "Young lady, why are you carrying a gun?" Are you in danger, Starling? Take off that shawl.
It's not a shawl. It's a burqa from the Middle East.
She places the M16 down on a chair, trying but failing to release herself from the burqa, like a Houdini wriggling free in claustrophobic manner, and then picks up the M16 in Patty Hearst-like stance.
I figured the Beatles went to India. I should go to Iran. It's why they were there. Very spiritual, you know. I met the Shah of Iran.
If the Beatles went to India, searching for enlightenment near and far, and the Beatles called on mystics for sympathy, well, why shouldn't I meet the Shah? If you're there in the Middle East, and it's in the spirit's hands, then why shouldn't I have met the Shah of Iran? If enlightenment is found at the passing of a joint, while the spirits hold you causal, yet it's you they want to anoint, and cool takes on new meaning, and it's no longer cold. The White House has a missing tape from the president's bigoted calls. Someone inform the dealer that we all intend to fold. If the children are marching in the streets and the war has only one way it can flow, and you live in a world of latent bigotry, 'cause the world sold out a long time ago, and you realize enlightenment's gallery is finally closed, that's when I'll inform the dealer that we all intend to fold. If enlightenment is found at the passing of a joint, while the spirits hold you causal, and yet it's you they want to anoint, and cool takes on new meaning, and it's no longer cold, the White House has missing tape from the president's bigoted calls. Someone inform the dealer that we all intend to fold. Why you break the window? How did you meet the Shah?
It was rattling and the handle was spinning. He wanted to meet my husband.
Why'd you ruin my Van Gogh on glass? Husband?
I didn't think you were home. And someone is following me. Sorry, I break things. It's just what I do. It's my M.O.
The mailman walks in to hand the mail to Don, never looking up, just sorting mail as he moves. As long as you don't shoot things. Murray, you want a coffee? No, Don. No, I gotta move. I gotta keep moving along. Don, there's a woman with an M16 in your kitchen. Murray moves out of the room, exiting and still sorting mail, expressionless. He's right. Can you lose the gun? I got a reputation to uphold as a non-violent, peaceful man since the war ended. I want to maintain my image in the community. How many people saw you dragging the rifle through the streets? What about the husband? Who's your husband? You didn't mention a husband while I was stroking your canvas last night.
I kept it under my burqa. It's a spiritual thing.
The husband or the gun? Are we going to see Sammy Davis Jr. popping out from under your burqa? Not that I have anything against Sammy. He's funny, really funny, and he can sing, too. I'll bet he's had a drink with a lot of the white entertainers.
I met him, too. A lot of white entertainers. What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
You mean Sammy Davis Jr. and the Shah of Iran all hanging out drinking whiskey by the glassful, I suppose?
Don reaches out to Starling and gently removes the M16 from her hands, approaching the glass cabinet with the gun, where the audience can see the gun plainly from all angles in the theater. He moves gingerly and touches the gun with great caution and respect.
The clip is in. The gun is loaded.
Why do I know that? I don't think I know how to fire this thing. I shot a carbine in the war. It's light.
Just aim and pull the trigger. The government came up with a real baby killer with that piece.
Don, remember when we bought the pig for the happening? You know, it was a couple of years ago when you shot the pig in the head, remember? In the shed out back where we kept the pig. We kept the pig in the shed, 300-pound pig in the shed for 3 weeks. Fatten up, you know. Well, anyway, Don goes out with the FAH club members in the morning to shoot the pig. No one will shoot the pig. So Don cocks the .22 rifle, the lever action. Looked like John Wayne. And he whacks the pig in the skull. We're all watching the curious while the bullet ricochets and puts a hole right through the side of the cuff in Johnny's pant leg. Don's brother, Johnny. Well, the pig didn't even flinch, just squared its shoulders and rammed Don right between the legs. Funniest goddamn thing. All of us tackling the pig, and Don's waving the gun and shooting and the pig like 50 times. True story. My groin was sore for a month.
So anyway, Don keeps shooting the pig, and there's holes in this pig, and it's bleeding. What a mess. It looked like Manson murder. Finally, the pig dies, and we all cut it up. We counted 41 shots in that pig. Don, don't mess with Don.
Who's your husband? Is he coming here?
I don't know.
It's the 70s. No one knows who their husband is. I've lived with my wife for 20 years. I barely know her. She doesn't understand me. She thinks I like to shop.
Uncle Rudy is slumping now, noticeably drunk and falling asleep. Uncle Rudy heaves a huge sigh, straightens up, and drops dead on the table. No one notices that he's dead. They think he's just drunk.
The old man zipped.
He's just old.
And it's those old bastards that have been keeping us down, keeping our generation locked up in chains mentally, sucking the life right out of us, keeping us from attaining truth and enlightenment.
Gertie places a hand on Uncle Rudy's shoulder and lifts up. Rudy folds into a heap on the table. Gertie checks his pulse.
Don, I think your uncle's dead.
Don, rushing over to Rudy's side, pushes Gertie out of the way and takes Rudy's pulse at his temple with 2 fingers.
That's not the way to do it. You hold this arm and take it at this elbow, lifting.
Let him loose.
The 2 men let go of Rudy's arm and head. Starling places the old man's head in her chest and shakes her breast from side to side, announcing loudly,
He's dead.
Rudy flops to the table. Oh no. Oh no, what do we do now?
A toast. We need to toast the old man. An end to tyranny and repression, to the age of enlightenment, death to the ego, and life to the present, death to the judgmental tyranny of ego and the past.
Starling gets the glasses from the table along with Uzo and pours shots for all. Oh no. Oh, my father's brother just died, Starling. For Christ's sake, give it a break, will you?
It's like the fucking weather. You can't change it. It happened. It's over, and we are now in the present, and all that's true.
Rudy's death doesn't really matter, so none of you should be shattered. Life has gone on too long for this Nixon voting political vole. He looks kind of happy, yet he looks forlorn. And I'm still here smoking dope and singing my song. Life should be left to the righteous and the young, as mankind becomes more enlightened and more totally informed. He's had his days of suffering and sad times. He's lived his days drowning in bad wine. He lived a long life. Look, his hands are gnarled and old. Now it's time for us all to let go. It doesn't matter, the next generation needs room, 'cause the horny GIs cause the fucking baby boom. And we don't know, you don't like us for our flowers and our hair, for our protests, unemployment, vulgarity, and lascivious affairs. We know you don't like us because we cause such a stir, while your traditions and customs continually become blurred. But who's gonna fix us if it isn't the young? The past should be indirect when you're reaching for the sun. He's had days of suffering and sad times. He's lived his days drowning in bad wine. He's lived a long life. Look, his hands are gnarled and old. Now it's time for us all to let go. It doesn't matter when the aged are dying, as soldiers in Vietnam fighting, their mothers are crying. It doesn't matter if this art is ever sold. It doesn't matter if you're divorced when the marriage gets old. So don't go on mourning for the already dead when we're all authors of a book not yet read. Go on with your living and be grateful for this day of days. The follows the ancient and the horrible's parade. He's had his days of suffering and sad times. He's lived his days drowning in bad wine. He's lived a long life. Look, his hands are gnarled and old. Now it's time for us all to let go. And that concludes Act 1, Scene 2, or part of Scene 2, from the play The Happening. It's a musical play by James Allen and accompanied by Ace Hillender and Bailey Harbor.
Wow.
So what do you think of that?
The first time I've participated in a musical since I was probably 11 years old.
It was a challenge. I realized that when you push down hard on your screen,
Oh,
everything goes fast. It
Yeah, I don't
goes by
realize.
at 100 miles an hour, and
oh gosh.
I lose my place quite easily.
I thought we should have asked you to bring your little laptop. That's my fault.
Yeah,
so.
no problem.
Well, I want to say this was really fun getting together today, and I'm
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
glad that you could be with us, Ace. And we did get some. We got a little further along with our musical
Yes.
here. You know, we presented some songs the last couple of weeks from the musical, and I didn't know how it was going to go, and I kind of liked it enough to bring this little piece of the play together, the musical, and I think it works.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It was good.
Oh yeah. Garrity's fun.
I mean, that's a powerful song, as I think I sung it. However, Starling's going to sing it in a female voice, and you know it's different. But that's the power that I was going for anyway. For this, she's made this point about
she's a hot
the
ticket.
dead.
You did a great job.
Yeah.
Well, it was fun. It was fun being together here and hearing about all your stories. I mean, you brought a lot to the show today. I really appreciate you being here, Ace. It was great.
It's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Oh, and you too,
Oh yeah.
Bailey Harbor, as always. Bailey Harbor.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you know that you have toilet paper hanging from the back of your pants when we took that break?
Oh.
Must have been when you went to the bathroom
Well, that's
before the show. I could see it. You get that off of there before you walk out into
You had to
public.
mention that, didn't you?
What the
Embarrassing.
heck? Yeah. All right, we'll see you.